All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Wednesday, Wanderlust Wednesday. Here when we throw something at you that maybe you've forgotten about, that you didn't know anything about, a song from a band you know, but a song that you don't know from a band you know, you get the drift. You've been doing this for a while. So, what are we talking about this week? Well, we're doing a lot of early 80s synth pop rock, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to keep that going for the time being. So we're going to go back, and I heard one of these songs the other day, and I thought, I'm going to do these guys. We're going to go with this band, this Welsh band, The Alarm. Who remembers The Alarm? Interesting story about The Alarm. But anyway, again, the Welsh band formed in 1981. Originally a punk band formed in 1977 called The Toilets. Can't see how that would have gone very far. And it didn't. It only lasted 1 year. They turned into another band after that, eventually became The Alarm. And typical story, they got noticed at a club somewhere by a guy who put them in touch with a guy who happened to be U2's agent. Remember, this is early 81, so U2 was just a budding career early. But he became their manager, and they played with U2 to celebrate in December of 1981, which would be the beginning of a pretty long relationship between the two bands. And they would open up for U2 quite often after that. Compared, as far as music is concerned, The Alarm was often compared with U2 musically as well, and you can hear some of that in some of their songs. And they were eventually signed to IRS Records. They did constant shows in London, built up a following, played again with U2 in December a year later, 1982. They did 4 shows with U2, and even Bono joined them on stage. And they were just, starting to move along, starting to get noticed. They recorded The Stand, which was based on loosely on Stephen King's novel, in April of 1983. Went out for their first U.S. tour that summer with U2 on that war tour. Remember, they did 18 dates for the war tour, and that's when I got MTV. And we started to notice U2, and that's a pretty big deal. And they finished that tour, went back to the UK, recorded a song called 68 Guns, which became a huge hit in the UK, and then back to the United States to headline and also tour with the Pretenders. And so they were really moving along with their stuff. They'd release some songs, started to get noticed. In '85, they put out Strength. That's their second album. It was their first top 40 album in the United States. And by '86, they were playing with that Queen Live at Wembley show, and they opened up for Dylan in 1987. I mean, if you look at their pedigree, you're saying to yourself, what happened to this band? Why don't I know all these songs, or do I know any of these songs? It is kind of interesting, but again, they hitched their wagon to U2, and then they would play with them quite a bit. And then in 1989, their biggest U.S. modern rock hit was Sold Me Down the River. And I discovered that song in the mid-'90s. And what a song that is. And we'll talk about that again in a second. And then the singer leaves the band in 91. And that's it. That's what you got. But they have some songs out there that you should check out if you don't know The Alarm. You got Rain in the Summertime, The Stand, Spirit of 76, like I said. 68 Guns, like I said. Spirit of 76. Strength. And then you got these two that are probably the ones you might know if you've heard any of them. And that's Rescue Me and Sold Me Down the River. Sold Me Down the River is your song of the day. I love this song. This is so good. It just really gets me going when I hear it. And when I heard it for the first time in grad school in the mid-'90s, I was like, how did I miss this song? And where was I for this song? And it's just a great, great tune that you can easily forget about. But The Alarm, they had their time in the early and mid-'80s, back and forth across the ponds, doing their thing and doing their shows, and they did quite well for themselves. So check out The Alarm today. Tell me what you think of these songs. Do you remember them? Do you remember these songs? Do you remember this band? Just want to know. All right, that's what your assignment is today. Another Wanderlust Wednesday in the books. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.